You mentioned all of these, but you've probably not mentioned the fact that there was a timeline, even before this government came in, that some of the benefits accrued to the ex-militants are going to be stopped by 2015. This government said they wouldn't do that.
Now, let me tell you,
isn't that a sign of sincerity?
No. To even reduce the benefits accruable to the region, to benefits to ex-militants, is disrespectful. What we are talking about is this. No,
it was a part of the pact of the ceasefire during the Yar'Adua government.
Now, government is a continuum. You must realize that. What we are trying to say, like you stated here, that the agitations didn't start today. That's the more reason the agitations should stop as soon as yesterday. What we are trying to say, and what we will continue to say, is that develop the Niger Delta. That is why when the conversation for the restructuring of the country, we can buy into it. The reason is this: when you begin to develop the Niger Delta, like I have stated here, it has a way of also developing the Nigerian state. Because in the oil industry, it's not just those from the Niger Delta that work there. People from all walks of life, Hausas, Yorubas, Igbos, and every other tribe work there. But what we are saying now is that now in the areas of development of the region that produces this, don't leave it that fallow. Don't leave it that degraded. Shehu, let me tell you something. Recently, a document leaked. The federal government was compelling oil multinationals to contribute about $100 million per year to the funding of the development of the Northeast. And the Niger Delta has never received that kind of benevolence. Now, let me tell you something.
That's a report. That's a purported.
The report has not been debunked by anybody from the presidency. So about 10 oil multinationals will be about $1 billion. And we are there. Now, you may want to argue that, yes, they are sending it to go and rebuild the devastated Northeast, where Boko Haram has devastated, which we sympathize with. My dear Shehu, the oil degradation and the explorative activities and the attendance consequences are killing and have killed more people. Boko Haram has also killed.
It looks so much that, in fact,
what I wanted to say, you begin to ask, why would they think that they can give so much attention to the development of the Northeast and not give even more attention?
When you say they,
this administration, and not even give more attention.
It looks so much that this time around, the agitations, does it look like an empty threat?
Well, I will not speak for the Avengers because I'm not their spokesman. But however, let me make it abundantly clear that as a people, we are more determined to develop ourselves, to contribute to the total development of Nigeria more than ever before. And we will go about it legitimately and seriously.
Do you think some of the times that some of the agitations are political?
Every agitation is political and economical. So this one is not different.
Well, I mean, I'll put it in perspective now, because it looks so much within the political sphere that when some of the agitators speak, they speak because of some political backing. And when you hear some of these issues come up at a certain time where there are court cases here and there, and you see some issues happening around, you hear some of the agitators again speak. So it makes some critics say, maybe the agitators are just being sponsored by some political heavyweights.
Shehu, I get your point. But the point is that you need to concentrate on the political economy of the violence in the Niger Delta. So maybe we should ask the question this way. Could it be that there is a cabal in this country, and there are a group of people who benefit massively from the violence in the Niger Delta, and they instigate it at all times? Because let me tell you something. Like, you know, when there is war in Sierra Leone, diamonds go cheap. When there is war in Rwanda, somebody sells more ammunition. So when there is problem in the Niger Delta, probably there are some security agencies and people somewhere who go in there in the name of quelling this crisis with fat budgets. And if that is the case, it is a responsibility of the federal government to ensure that that is nipped on the bud. Because, see, Shehu, what we are requesting as a people from the Niger Delta is massive development of the region that produces the golden egg.
So
and that debate should not be twisted.
The singing is not twisted. From several hymn books. That's what it looks so much. There's a distrust in the leadership that is even taking on the negotiation with the federal government. Some of the group have said they lost interest in Pandev. Is the IYC, Ijaw Youth Council, or have they also lost trust in the PANDEF?
We have confidence in PANDEF. We also have confidence in whatever process that can be sincerely brought on the deck. What we want is a practical plan. Look at, Mr. President came and flagged up the cleanup of Ogoni. To start with, Ogoni is a metaphor and so metaphorical of the degradation in the environment. What has been put in Ogoni? Nothing. You came here and you said oil companies are moving down. They are not moving down. And here we are distracted.
I will ask you this question. If the federal government does not make a move now, what do you think is a major implication?
I think the major implication, if the federal government does not make a move now, the implications are far from what we all hope for. And I don't pray for that. So I will take this advantage to call on the federal government, President Muhammad Buhari, to show more sincerity. You see, I will tell President Muhammad Buhari to go back to his first initial statement, that it belongs to everybody and it belongs to no one. So that we don't begin to distract the conversation of developing the Niger Delta with immaterial, petty conversations such as this person was there, that happened, that not happened. The area is part of Nigeria, and this conversation, and Shehu, let me finally tell you this. When there is crisis in the Niger Delta, the first casualty and the only casualty most times is a Nigerian. You can describe that Nigerian as a soldier. You can describe that Nigerian as a youth from the Niger Delta.
We must leave it at that.
Either of the casualty is not necessary. So the president needs to go tough on it and sincere on it, and that sincerity has to be felt by people from the Niger Delta.
We must leave it at that. Thank you so much. Alfred Kemepado is the Secretary General of the Ijaw Youth Council. Many thanks for your thoughts there.
Thanks for having me.
Well, up next on the program, the PDP chairmanship contest gets hot. What is the temperature as some candidates are already being relegated ahead of the December convention? Our focus when we return. Stay with us, everyone.